Great morning. Great morning. What's happening? What's happening? What is happening to everybody out there? I'm your man OG Truth with a 2, Hertz with a Z, coming at you with another Monday morning edition of the Raw Truth. Busy weekend, y'all. First of all, let me say what's up to everybody who in here with me. Sherman Wood. What's happening? Let me see. Y'all know I can't. Y'all know I gotta upgrade my reading glasses. AT37. What's happening? What's happening? Georgia boy, what's happening? What's good, OG? Man, what the hell draft? We just got nasty on defense and possibly drafted our own Puka Nuka. Plus, be on the lookout for a veteran cornerback signing. I'm gonna have my draft guys. My draft guys usually be Mad Mike and the Don and K Styles. I ain't no draft expert like that. I don't know nothing. I don't know too much about these guys. I got coming on my little homie Ryan, the historian Walker. You know, that's his lane too. So we're gonna break down the draft, man. I can tell you, based on what everybody's telling me, the Falcons had a good draft. So hey, and I'm cool with that. I don't know much. I know just only what I need to know as a fan. You know, I'm not a draft expert. Never have been. That's why I always stay in my lane on that. I didn't do no mock draft this year. I tried it for the last 2 years, and then Terry Fontenot, hey, so what's going on? Terry Fontenot threw a curveball. So, hey, the reason why I'm not too far up or too far down because I didn't have no expectations. Yes, I was surprised by the 8, what we did at 8, and we're going to talk about that. But before we go into that, first of all, let me say congratulations and happy retirement to 16-year WNBA veteran and former University of Tennessee standout Candace Parker. She called it quits this weekend. 16 years. Hey, it's time to get into the next life. Candace was a dominant force in the league. She got multiple NBA rings. I think she got a couple of MVPs. I know she led multiple teams. I know she won rings with. I think Candace may be the only WNBA player to win rings with 3 different teams. I know she got one. She got one in Chicago when she went there. Of course, she got one with the Sparks, and you know she being a member of the Aces, she got one with the Aces. So for sure, first ballot Hall of Famer, 2028. So congratulations to Candace Parker. We wish her the best in her future endeavors. Probably going to be more likely in broadcasting because she's been torn with that anyway. Going on with the. She's probably going to join the TNT crew. Somebody asked about her coaching. I doubt it.
I don't know, truth. He kind of went out. There's no time. True. You went out for a minute. You went out for a minute. Go back out and come back in. But go back out. You. There's no sound right now. Just go back out. Go back out and come back in. There's no sound. Truth. Um. But like it was saying about Candace Parker. Obviously, my opinion about that. Uh, Candace Parker. No, we can't hear you. True. Just go back out and come back in. But as far as Candace Parker's concerned, one of the greatest women basketball player, female basketball they ever, and I mean women. Okay, I mean women. Um, and I'm saying that for a multitude of reasons. Don't want to get too caught up in that, but
All right, can y'all hear me now?
we straight. We straight.
Yeah, yeah. Shasta always try to goddamn call me. Shasta calling me. Auntie Pam, what's going on? Mike, what you got? What you got on the draft? I think Ryan trying to come back. No, okay. What you
Okay.
got? I'm not a draft guy.
I mean, I'm tired of the damn draft, but it's not anytime soon. So, I actually got my recap coming right after this. About one, well, after Sam's show at 1 o'clock. I have my draft grade and breakdown coming on that. Y'all kind of this is probably the last. I wouldn't even say the last time. This is the last time I want to talk about uh the first round pick, specifically Michael Penix. Um, inconclusive for me, man. I think it's pretty foolish for anybody to kind of give a grade when guys haven't even stepped on the field. So I just think it's idiotic. It's real stupid to talk about how bad or how good a guy is. You can assume and give your take about how good it is. They focus on the trenches. That's what we ask, man. They focus on the trenches. We got a bunch of D linemen, a bunch of edge guys, a bunch of defensive tackles. We did exactly what we were supposed to do as far as the defense is concerned. We just didn't get it done in the first round. What people expected to get that little shiny Akbar dude from Alabama. And I said that for a reason, multitude of reasons. Only truth forget that. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we got three D tackles, one edge, one inside linebacker, a quarterback, a receiver, and a running back. I mean, so I'm assuming we addressed all our needs. Well, not all, because a lot of people are looking for a cornerback.
Our corner, yeah. I mean, that's a good thing. We go, like I said, we're gonna go into detail tonight, 8 o'clock. So y'all don't miss that for the originators. But yeah, I mean, this is a good thing. This is a good sign for AJ. To be honest, AJ should be smiling like a mug right now. Like
Yeah,
all these cornerbacks that was in the draft, and the Falcons didn't get not a one. So this is a great thing for everybody on this Falcons team. That's a cornerback. DB is great.
yeah. By them not going corner, it just pretty much tell me that they feel good about what they have, and they're gonna probably uh, look towards keeping AJ around, unless they go um, corner with their first pick next year. But
Right, right,
that'll be next year. Southside says funny the guys who actually cover sports like Bayless and Coward really like the pick, and former players like the pick also, but it's guys uh, who are the analysts and draft guards don't like it. I don't know. Um, I mean, sometimes, man, I mean, it all boils down to, I think, man, a lot of people draft boards got busted up, Mike, and that's why a lot of people are upset with the pick. They can't break it down. You gave
Hmm.
your reason to us why you have you have reservations about the pick, and I don't know anything about. I'm not a big cap guy. You know,
Hmm.
explain your issue with that in terms of um, us taking Penix. Explain your issue with that.
Well, I don't believe in paying quarterbacks anything over $10 million. Two quarterbacks over $10 million. That leads to cap issues. It's something that has to get resolved quickly, and it's going to cause a trickle down effect as far as players are concerned. Maybe they did this by design. I'm sure they did it by design, but when you have a quarterback that's making, granted that it's 25 this year, but next year, it only accounts for 25 there. The 25 of the 40 something million, I believe that the Vikings are going to have to take. Well, they did take that, but I just don't believe in paying quarterbacks, that much money. And anytime you paying quarterbacks access to $10 million, it's like paying Trey Young uh, or Ronald Acuna or you having a guy like Spencer Strider, he making 200 million, and you got another pitcher that making 200 million. Like at some point, it's going to come a problem, and the trickle down effect is some you're going to have to shed. You're going to have to share some cash. That not like either way it go. If you're not winning championship and you paying guys, $200 million on the baseball field, two pitches, $200 million, somebody ain't gonna get paid. So I think the Falcons team
Unless you're the
is
Los Angeles
young,
Dodgers,
unless you the damn Dodgers, right?
them
Like
motherfuckers
it's
gave
some,
out $1 billion in the off season.
hmm
Yeah,
yeah. So it's gonna become a problem at some point, and I think the Falcons have a great young nucleus. I don't think you should start like doing things to kind of disrupt, one their mentality, but like their growth.
yeah. I seen somebody talking about the defensive tackles. You got to understand now. Our two best defensive tackles are long in the tooth. Grady Jarrett and David Onyemata. So they don't have long. So you got to have contingency plans or backup. You got to be ready for when those guys go ahead on and ride off into the sunset. So we along with what and y'all got to keep in mind now we still got decent defensive tackles on the roster. But don't we still have Street in London? Man, Mike, you there?
I am. My bad.
Oh,
I was talking out here. I forgot I had on mute.
yeah. But again, I'm not the draft guy, and I know my lane, and I'm gonna save that for uh, for you guys later. My little brother Ryan, if he comes on,
Hmm.
he'll that's his lane. He loves to talk that, so I'll let him have at it. Now, let me talk about something as far as us, the fan base. A lot of us, Mike, and you know what I mean when I say this, we got to get out of, we done talked about this before. We got to get out of the PTSD. Listen, I understand our history, okay? I understand the history of the team, the history of the franchise. But a lot of the bad shit that you guys are so enamored about or so upset about, all that has left the building, okay? Thomas Dimitrov is gone. All right. Matt Ryan is gone. All right. Arthur Smith is gone. Okay. Dan Quinn is gone. All right. The only two people that's in the building right now that was even part of that fateful day on February the 5th, 2017, is Grady Jarrett and Jake Matthews. And I'm pretty sure they try to erase that from their memories as well. All right, we got a new regime. We got a new um, GM, Terry Fontenot, and the mantra been let Terry cook, and that's what he been doing. And if y'all hadn't watched his first three drafts, excuse me, if y'all watched his first three drafts, one thing to expect from Terry Fontenot, and I'm sure Mike can back me up on this, is to expect the unexpected. Mike, hadn't he done that for now the four, four straight drafts?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing about Terry, and we had this saying is don't trust him. K Styles been saying this. Myself and K Style been saying this for the last 3 years. You can't trust this dude. He'll do the complete opposite of what you expect him to do, which is a good thing. I actually think it's a great thing to be honest, to do the unexpected. But to kind of piggyback, go back just a little bit. A lot of people saying it's like one guy, like we only have two defensive tackles that's under contract. Well, that's not true at all. The thing is, they have outs in their contract. A lot of these guys signed 2 to 3 year deal with essentially a 1 to 2 year contracts. But the thing is, you can get rid of these guys. You can get rid of them. But the dead cap is what we're talking about. Dead cap is what I'm focused on. I don't care about how much money we spending, guys, because over time that dead cap is going to end up accruing. The next thing you know, you need $8 million to sign or resign or get this guy a signing bonus, but you got $30 million in dead cap. Yeah, the salary cap is about 240 something $1 million, but if you can't use the 210 of it, somebody gonna end up walking. And I think that's the thing with the Falcons and a lot of teams. They just think, all right, I got 200 million, but at the end of the day, it's still dead cap, and it's not like in Major League Baseball. Doesn't really matter. They don't really have a cap. And you can just sign people just based on how much you want to pay, and that's what he's talking about. The Dodgers just pay anybody anytime they feel like it. They don't really have a cap.
They don't care.
Um, they don't care. NFL ain't like that. NBA is not like that. You have the luxury tax, all that. Like every other sport have that. And I think the dead cap is what a lot of people aren't focused on. So they don't think it's a real deal, but it's a huge deal because guys end up walking because you accruing all this dead cap because you want to get rid of guy before their contract ends. And that's always leads down, down the hill for down the road for guys that can't be gone. I mean, you gotta look at a guy like Nate Lamon too. What happens to Nate Lamon if we start accruing all this dead cap because we got rid of guys before their contract was out?
Now, I want to address a small elephant in the room, a baby one, and me, y'all might get a chance to see me and old man Mike debate a little bit. Mike, you was kind of perturbed about um, Kirk Cousins' camp not being notified to the very last minute that we were drafting a quarterback. Explain your take on that, and I will have a respectful, maybe rebuttal.
Um, my thing is it's a thin line between love
Yes,
and
it is.
hate.
Yes, it is.
It's a thin line between love and hate, and I think that's the thing because some players might love it, the organization might love it, but the Falcons have to be absolutely sure that they want to be the bad guys.
Look at Georgia boy with the gas. Look at him with the gas can out talking about you was furious. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, that was a reaction. That was a real reaction. Like I don't hide nothing about. See, people hear me scream and yell and get upset, and they think I'm upset about one particular of that pick. I was not upset about that pick. I was upset about spending 100 million dollars on a quarterback, and then end up drafting another quarterback, and then you end up paying him $16 million a year. So that's what, about 40, $50 million. And
Oh,
y'all heard me talk
oh,
about that.
oh, that's what that's
That's
what
it.
that's what that's what M- MPJ getting, because I'm not gonna say his last name. I'm not getting caught up in y'all bullshit. No, he's getting 16.
Mm-hmm. That's
Here's my
$15 million total. He get guaranteed, and then he get
okay.
his regular $8 million. That's a salary cap. So that's about $16 million for a backup quarterback that's not playing. We could use that $16 million to get a corner, to get a defensive line, to get anybody that's gonna help. He's not helping sitting on the bench, and that was my frustration.
All right, here's my take on it. I was very on board with us signing Kirk Cousins, still, and I'm still on board with us signing Kirk Cousins. Now, with that being said, Kirk Cousins hadn't played a snap or a down with us, and he's going to. And when he leaves here, no matter when he leaves here, he gonna have 100 million in his pocket. I don't think the organization owes him jack shit as far as the phone call. I want everybody to understand me on this now. If I'm giving you 100 million, Mike, if you give me 100 million, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be glad to get that 100 million. I'm gonna go out there and do my motherfucking job. I
Mm-hmm.
can't I can't ask you why the fuck you bringing in this other guy, because you're gonna tell me to get way the fuck out your face, or you slap the shit out of me and go do my motherfucking job. Kurt need to do his job, okay? Because here's the thing, and I alluded to this the other day. There, who's to say? Because I don't know. Who's to say that the Falcons' plans were probably to draft their quarterback of the future next year? But being that we're going to lose a pick. We don't know where. I'm saying it's not going to be nothing worse than a third rounder, but being that there's a possibility, it could be a first rounder or a second rounder. The Falcons probably just went ahead on and seized the moment to grab their guy this year. I'm speculating. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on that?
As far as that, like that is concerned, I mean, I'll echo this. I mean, we can sit up here and say it don't. The Falcons don't owe him anything, and that's true. But that's not how reality is. Reality is these players are fucking sensitive. All of them, like they some bitches. If they
Yeah.
don't get what they want, they start whining and crying and holding out. I'm gonna go on Shannon Sharp and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry tears of joy. Look, nobody gives a shit. All right, nobody gives a shit about you not getting your way. But the thing is, the Falcons have always stayed away or tried to shy away from that type of thing. So that's why I said what I said earlier. It's like the Falcons better make sure that they want to be the bad guy or they comfortable in that role. As y'all know, we cool with being the bad guy. Look, it don't make me none whether I'm the good guy or the bad guy. But the Falcons better make sure that if they want to be that bad guy and pull the moves that they pull with Kirk Cousins, again, they don't. He's not obligated. Once you sign that contract, you obligated to do your motherfucking job. The end. But you know the quarterbacks, the most sensitive motherfuckers on the field.
Them and them damn receivers.
Them and them fucking receivers, they go to whining and crying and bitching and oh, you saw his whole crew and his staff was on social media, all in damn on every major sports platform, ESPN, Fox, just NFL Network. They were just whining and crying, whining and crying. So we know this type of stuff is what happens. So that's why I said the Falcons better make sure that they comfortable being the bad guys. And I
You
think
gotta
they comfortable being the bad guys.
you gotta embrace being a bad guy. That's the quality that we have over here at AFN. We embrace being the bad guy, Mike, and you certainly no. It has to matter. You can't be you can't be a good guy being with a name like Mad Mike. It's
Hmm.
funny because I was reading a little bit of the interaction that was going on this weekend, and hey man. what in the hell did you do to what's this dude name, man?
Man, I don't know. I my look. This is where
Hey,
I'm confused. It's called Mad MAD Mike Sports. It's literally called Mad Mike Sports. Okay, we are hardcore debate guys. You're going to get angry takes. I'm not. This is not happy sports show. This ain't none of that shit. I don't understand why you come here and then you get rents and then you crying about rents.
here's the thing. The part that tripped me out when I was hearing shit like blindsided. Blindsided? What you mean you blindsided?
Blindsided.
Blindsided. Goddamn, you ain't blindsided when you go to the telly machine. When you go to that goddamn that telly machine say 100 million.
100 million.
Goddamn
Hey
it.
fellas, I got 10. I got a few minutes I can give y'all today.
All right.
I got a slide, man. OG Chauncey asked me to come through. What's up, man?
Hey, what Ryan? Hey, go ahead. Break down our picks. Mike them gonna do it later on too. But hey, break down our picks. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and hey, have at it. The floor is yours.
Quarterback spot had to be addressed. I get we spent 180 million, but here's the one thing that hasn't been in Atlanta's team in a long time. We haven't had a quarterback competition. You got to understand competition breeds greatness. So if y'all are mad about them bringing him in, that's one thing. Because I've heard mixed emotions even on my show. They're like, well, we're not mad. We're not mad at Penix. It's the fact that we spent 180 million. But here's the thing: that's market value for a quarterback. That's a top tier quarterback. I get he's only got one playoff win, but he's going to be a guy that's going to win season games.
We had competition with Mike Vick and Matt Shaw, but we haven't had it in a while.
Now you know damn well shot with no competition
he was competition. He went to Texas and he became a star. They traded him because of that.
But that's in Texas. We talking about in Atlanta.
Ryan,
they traded him because of that. They traded Matt Shaw because he was competition for.
We got a first and a third rounder for Matt Shaw.
Yeah, that was competition.
But here's the thing, you ain't finna let the man that is putting asses in seats and selling the most jerseys lose his job. Even if he didn't get traded, that wasn't gonna happen.
That's why his ass got traded.
And then he ended up coming back finessing checks. But all I'm saying is in this situation, we don't even know if Kirk is gonna be 100% coming off that Achilles injury. So you have to, and the thing is, Terry went through this with Arthur Smith. He went through a situation where he didn't have a capable backup or even a great starting quarterback because Matt was at the end of his rope when they let him go. And then you bring in Mariota, who was literally suspect, and then you got rid of
Quintero's fault. That was Quintero's fault that we didn't have a real plan.
No, I get it, but here's the thing: you don't keep a damn wide receiver coach that's coaching quarterbacks. That man didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Oh, for sure.
TJ Yates should have been coaching the quarterbacks. Real talk. Because you got a guy that has coaching up under him, but you don't let a wide receiver coach. And Arthur Smith wanted all the glory, and this is what happens when you get glory hogs. It set us back. Now, Terry Fontenot, everybody's like, oh, well, he got to go next. And here's my thing. Terry gave you a top 10 defense with the number one red zone defense in the league, period. He gave us that. And he got us out of salary cap hell. That right there alone gives him a little bit of time to try to get what he needs to get with this new head coach. You don't put a guy up out of here like that. And then he did not have full autonomy as he has now. So they went and got their guy because Steve Weiss came on my show and talked about it, as well as Mike Smith. He came on my show and talked about it, and a few other people, Daniel Flick and Myles Garrett. They all said that Arthur Smith was in love with Trevor Lawrence. He did not like Justin Fields at all, period. Even with the physical gifts the kid had, he didn't want to work with him. He wanted to work with Trevor. So when he didn't get it, he went ahead and went with Pitts. That was confirmed by guys that was insiders in that. But now that you have Raheem Morris coming in, he said, no, the first thing we're going to get if it drops to us is a quarterback because I'm not going to be asked out like last year. Because he said in that press conference, the reason I'm here was because of piss poor quarterback play, period. So Defense isn't the problem. Now we just got to see if they can continue that defensive dominance. But I don't think Ruka Roro should have been traded up to grab it too. That's just me. You could have sat and got him.
I love that kid, man. I'm telling people gonna really gonna feel that dude. That dude
Mike,
is a player.
Mike. So originally, with a 3-4 defense, you have to have a guy that's a zero technique. We call them if you played the game and you understand. I was a defender, I was a safety like my daddy was, and played a little semi. I can tell you this here: you got to have what we call a butt plug. That is a dude that's gonna be right there eating up 2 blocks and letting your linebackers eat and your safeties.
And you got to see his ass crack. No homo.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no diddy on that. You got to see his ass crack. It's the truth. And here's the thing, Eddie Goldman, you can't trust him to even show up because he might get in his feelings and leave.
Yeah, they got 3 guys right there at that spot. That's why you brought Zion in, and that's what David Onyemata specializes in.
But here's the question: when have you ever seen a Georgia Bulldog drafted at 6 start to get real rotation in Atlanta? And I'm a dog fan, but I'm just.
We're talking about pass. Let's give Ryan. Let's give Zion give him an opportunity to showcase.
They didn't give John Fitzpatrick an opportunity either at that tight end spot. They brought in McCole.
They got 15 of them.
But at the same time, why? But here's the thing: why bring him in if you aren't going to give him a shot, bro?
You got 15. You got to. I mean,
even before you had the 15, because think about it, he was drafted. He was a lower round draft pick. But you bring him in, but you're bringing in other tight ends like a Jonnu Smith, who was
that's competition, though. I get what you're saying, but it's still competition.
No, but I'm saying, but why keep a guy like that here? Because Fitzpatrick can play, but why keep him here if he's never gonna touch the field? That's my question.
Maybe he not. He got hurt for one, and two, it's competition. You got to beat out your competition. I'm not bringing guy just all right. I drafted you. Yep, you're gonna get your opportunity. No, you're gonna have to work for that position. So maybe seeing something that we not seeing.
Well, here's the thing: Ruka Roro played in a 3 and a 5 technique. He's never played a 0 technique a day in his life.
And he played. No, he played. They brought him in to be a 3 and a 4, and that's the thing. We're assuming that we're bringing him in to be a run stuffer, but that's not his role.
But here's the thing: you got to get Grady's replacement. Yes, Zion Logue is here. We got David Onyemata for a couple of years, but you have to start looking at Grady's replacement because we haven't even started back talking to Calais Campbell either. They said they're going to talk to him. He hadn't signed with nobody, but you do need veteran leadership on that defense. Now, I'm just saying, Ruka Roro, we'll see. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but it's the system he was in. It was catered to his playing style at Clemson. And honestly, Grady is the last cat that I would have taken from Clemson. Matter of fact, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I would have taken. But Ruka Roro, nah, not at 2. But it is what it is. He's here. He rocking his logo, so I rocks with him. It is what it is. But now when you talk about Trice, I feel like we got Trice literally as a steal because Trice was actually in the top 5 pass rushers in the country. Period. You look at his numbers; they were better than Dallas Turner's. He had 81 pressures on the quarterback, which was number 1 last year. And Dallas Turner, everybody's like, "Oh, we want Dallas Turner." Look, I get he a hometown kid. My cousin is best friends with his mama. I'm gonna tell you just like this: Dallas Turner only ate when Will Anderson was there. Chris Braswell was that dude at Alabama this year. Dallas Turner's numbers fell off like a bad bag of dope. I'm just gonna be real. He's a one-trick pony. I think he can play, and I think he can be developed. He's more of a project defensive end, and I think he could be great later on. But as for coming in, making an impact, and being as drafted as high as he was, I wouldn't have took him.
Let me add to Dallas Turner too. The day of the draft, his medicals came in, and it scared not only the Falcons but a few teams out. You got to think about it. 14 offensive guys got taken. The first 14 picks were offensive guys. Now you can't sit up here and beat me to tell me that it was 14 teams that needed an offensive guy more than they needed a defensive guy. And the medicals on him and Latu, because that's who I like, Latu, from what I know. The medical scared him off. Well, what y'all take on that?
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm just rambling. Normally I would be quiet, but I know I'm limited on time, so I apologize.
I got all look. I got like 4 5 channels. Ramble on.
All right. So the whole thing is this, man. With Latu, you got a guy where you got a David Pollock type situation. Not saying that the guy can't play because he can play. It's a reason why he was a top kid in the country. But when you talk about dealing with the neck injury, that right there is unforeseen. You don't know when it's gonna happen, and you don't want to sit there and put the future of your defense, and you don't want to put that type of money into a guy that has a neck injury because again, he plays on that line. You never know where that shot's gonna come from. It could be just something very simple where he's actually just standing up and he just gets a little joke and boom, you've lost your first round pick. So I understand why they kind of backed off of him. Now there was going to be a team that was going to take a chance, but with the way that Atlanta is set up right now, I don't think we need to take too many chances. We need to be in a situation where we take calculated risk to continue the progress that we're seeing right now because we should have won this division 3 years straight. We have a chance to win this division now because we still have a little bit. We have some more pieces, but honestly, bro, I really see a lot. I'll say this. I really see with Latu, I think he's going to be good wherever he goes. But in this situation, I think it was smart for the Falcons to go in the direction of Trice, who's healthy, got a clean bill of health, and somebody that can be effective from day one.
Um, I wanna kind of shift. No, I ain't gonna necessarily say shift gears. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of how much time you got, Ryan.
Yeah.
Uh, Terry and Raheem, they told us when Raheem got hired that they were
Mm-hmm.
going to address this quarterback situation. What I'm not understanding is Mike gave his reasons. It's why people are so upset that we addressed a position that was the the issue the last 2 years. A lot of fans were so heated. Like Desmond really got to be the most hated quarterback in recent memory. And a lot of it was his doing, but some of it wasn't. And the fans demanded, Mike, you know this, Ryan, you know this. The fans, us, we demanded for a change at the quarterback position and a significant change. A significant change was made, other than take out the money part. Y'all explain the money part. That's another area that I'm not strong in.
Mm-hmm.
What else could people be so upset about?
Outside of the money part, I think they're upset because they're bringing in a guy that has had injury, that hasn't had the cleanest bill of health at that quarterback spot. It's not the fact that he can't play because dude was a Heisman candidate this year, and he was mentioned in the Heisman breath. And if you could win at the University of Indiana in football, yes, they've produced some good football players, but it is not a football school. That is a basketball school. If you can knock off Ohio State, which he did, you knock off Penn State, and you got limited players, and you make guys around you better, that says a lot about that young man. He's a proven winner everywhere he's gone. And he's a guy that didn't go to the quarterback camps like like a lot of these CJ Strouds and all these guys. He was a guy that just had old school coaches that played the game that taught him coming out of St. Pete, coming out of that Tampa area. And Indiana was the only school that gave him a shot. And he's battle tested because most guys would give up after getting injured. Most guys would, not after the first injury, after the second or the third. Then they're starting to think, you know what, maybe this ain't for me. But when you got a guy that's got that type of resolve to come back, and every time he comes back, he plays even better. I can't be mad at that. But the question is, what are we going to do? Because he's supposed to sit for 2 years. We need to find out what kind of program we could get him on physical, get it, because you got to change his diet, and he's also got to change the way that he takes care of his body. We've got to get him in a situation where we have people coming in helping this kid so we can invest into him, because when he starts, he's going to be 26 years old. He's going to be 26 years old. I spoke with Dewey McClain, former Falcon linebacker, Georgia congressman. He even said himself, he was like, I like Penix, but he said the age is what concerns me, because you don't heal the same when you get older. But then I said, remember this, Dewey, you're not able to hit quarterbacks like y'all used to. So
And
guys are able to play to their 40.
that's the thing too. The thing that I like most about Penix is he's the type of quarterback that doesn't rely on his athleticism. He can shift and maneuver in the pocket. And that's the great thing about him playing in Washington. They didn't use him in a lot of the prototypical, although he does have those qualities to be a mobile quarterback. He can run, but he doesn't run. And I think that's gonna really play into his favor that he's a pocket quarterback. But the thing with the Falcons is one of the issues that I was concerned is, well, you spent money, $100 million on a quarterback and and Cousins. So if something happens along the offensive line, you got AJ Terrell, got to figure out what's going to happen with Grady's year. Is he going to get money? Are you going to get him an extension? Like, what's going to happen there? And then you got Jake Matthews. Will he retire in a couple of years? There's a lot of question marks as far as money is concerned. So if Penix is that guy, you have to develop a whole another system of offensive line for him, because now you got Caleb McGarry, who's the backside, the blind side tackle. So that's a lot of issues that I would say issues, but there's a lot of question marks. You figure out what the plan is going to be, and do you have the money to kind of offset the current plan?
I agree with you on that, because you got to do, and OG Chancellor, you got to do everything backwards. Because if y'all are fight fans like myself, you look at Sweet Pea Whitaker, you look at Marvin Hagler and these fighters. When you have a guy that's a southpaw or whatnot, Joe Frazier's another one. You have to do everything backwards, because most of America does everything with their right hand. Most of us are, and hell, even in the world, you have people that are right hand dominant. So when you're protecting a quarterback that's left-handed, now is you got a turnstile in McGarry, just like Mike said. You got a turnstile in McGarry, and you have to replace him with somebody that's going to be worth something. Right now, I feel like this Storm Norton is a guy I would trust more so than McGarry to protect Michael Penix Jr. if he gets in, or even Kirk Cousins. I really would trust them, because let's just be real. McGarry has been bad in pass blocking. He's been awful. And you're bringing in a franchise quarterback with an injury history. You got to start looking at some great right tackles coming out, and you gotta give them a shot. Like, my thing was, there were two of them that came out of the HBCU ranks, but they got signed elsewhere that I spoke on my show. Those were guys you could have got for pennies on the dollars, and they were road graders as well as good pass blockers. All they needed was just a little bit more time in the weight room. They were good 360 pounders, 330 pounders that can actually protect. But but getting off the quarterback spot,
I think
I,
I think I thought McGarry had a might not be saying much. I thought he had a better year this
He
past.
he, he was ranked top 15 in just overall tackle this year. His play as a pass protector has actually gotten better. The thing is with that, um, me personally, I think that a lot of that had to do with schematics as far as Arthur Smith is concerned, because he doesn't he in certain situations he gives his tackle help, chips from the back. And that's something that Kyle Shanahan does. He helps his tackles out, and that's something that, especially with a guy like uh that's what he get. He got to give your tackles help. And I think in this with Zach Robinson is going to get the ball out of his hand quick, and it's going to help pass protection. So I'm concerned, but I'm not as down on Caleb McGarry and Jake Matthews as most are.
Excuse me, y'all, but I get seizure-matic when a certain name get mentioned.
Did I say the magic name? My bad. My bad. I ain't mean
Yeah,
that. I
Well,
didn't
right.
have Ray Shanahan. My bad.
You didn't say his name right. Go take
uh-oh.
go take
Uh,
your shit again.
I know what that.
Well, I'm gonna give you a few more things I got, and then I got to bounce. Um, I'll say one of the best moves that we made because I've been clamoring about it. We need linebacker depth. We ended up getting the kid out of Notre Dame, JT Berntrard. I think he's going to be a very valued piece on this defense. He could actually play Sam linebacker or he could play Will linebacker, and he can go from sideline to sideline. He can cover the pass, led Notre Dame in tackles 3 years in a row. And he was a part of that change when Marcus Freeman came in when
Uh-oh.
with that transition.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Miss Pam asked a question, and um, Miss Pam, you got to ask it again. I'm sorry. She said hold on. She said I have a question for Ryan. Is is there an HBC? Is there an HBCU undrafted free agent out there you would like the Falcons to pick up?
Well, the ones that I wanted the Falcons to pick up, they've already been claimed. Sedita Austin out of Grambling State. He's right from out of Atlanta, College Park kid. Chauncey, you might know him. He went to North Clayton. Sedita Austin, you might know who he is.
I
Came
think
out
I
of Grambling.
I think I know his mama.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
man, everybody parents. Hell, you played with my daddy up at MD Collins back in the day.
You telling my age, Ryan. You telling my age now. You telling my age.
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Look, I mean, my daddy said you was solid on that football field, bro. So you know what you talking about. Trust me.
Yeah,
God rest my father's soul, but yo,
yeah. I was solid, all right, man. I was Rudy. Rude. His,
but no,
his dad
Sedita Austin
hard
was a
nose.
guy. I'm gonna give you a guy that I said that I really wanted at the cornerback spot since we didn't draft the corner. Willie Drew out of Virginia State. That was a guy that I wanted. And Willie Drew is with the Carolina Panthers now. So we got to see him 2 times a year. Unfortunate. 6 foot even. He put it this way. He started off at Virginia. I think it was he started off at James Madison, then he transferred into Virginia State. If you want to know a comparison of this guy, he's Brent Grimes 2.0. He's a hell of a lot. He's a lot bigger than Brent, but very physical, very, very handsy, and very smart corner. That was a guy that I think we could have taken. And then Jordan Tolles out of Morgan State would have been the other guy that I would have taken at that safety spot because he can play nickel and he can also play safety. And if you add him on the field, he started off at LSU, if you remember that name. He started off at LSU and then went with Tyrone Wheatley up at Morgan State and became one of the best safeties in the country. But Chauncey, I ain't been wrong. I haven't been wrong about my HBCU boys because remember I said Atlanta passed up on Marquise Bell, and you see what he's doing in Dallas right now.
Yeah, hey, there's a reason why you here, bro.
Think about this. Richie Grant, and I know this because my boy, shout out to my boy Curtis Francis. He played at UCF, and he's still alumni, and he had a shot at the league but didn't make it. But Richie Grant was cheeks compared to Marquise Bell at UCF. But because of the fact that boosters and alumni liked Richie Grant, that was the reason he got the start over him. It was money being put in his pocket. So Marquise went to FAMU and literally became one of the top players in the country and was one of the best. And he's been showing that in Dallas's system. He was literally one of the key players that helped Dallas out in the playoffs against the 49ers. He was one of the ones who was turning that game around for him. So that's why I'm like, the Falcons have a former HBCU, two former HBCU quarterbacks in the building with Doug Williamson and Coach Black. My thing is this: they got ties to these schools. Start filtering in guys that you can get for lower round picks, and it's a ton of them boys out there that could actually be dominant in our organization because I had as my background the other night, and I pull it up for you guys to see it. The greatest pass rusher in Falcons history is Mr. Claude Humphrey. Say what you want about John Abraham, you could talk, but he couldn't hold Claude Humphrey's jockstrap. I'm sorry, and I love Abraham. Claude was a first round pick out of Tennessee State, and you pretty much and Chauncey, you watched him growing up.
Yeah,
you watched how dominant he was.
Yeah,
So
Hall of Famer too.
And he lived around the corner from us too, over there off of Enid Road, right?
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Claude Humphrey and Lou Hudson lived on the backside of Enid Road, bro. Right off Daytona Drive where we lived at. His house was right on the corner.
Listen, y'all. Ryan, I really appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
We got to wind it down. OG Big Sam gonna come in with the showstoppers high noon madness with Monday. Excuse me, Monday with the OG. Ryan, shout us out. Tell us where we can find you.
Hey man, you can find me on the Birdcage LLC on YouTube. You know, you either get right or you get left, as we say in the as I said in the show and how we put it out there. Thursdays 8 p.m. and then on Sundays after the game, we definitely have the benediction of the party line, man. Y'all check us out, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Appreciate it.
Man, Mike, run your mouth and then we're gonna close it out.
Hey man, again, check out OG Sam real coming out about 5 minutes. On the showstopper, he's gonna get into some defensive side, some defensive guys. Later on today, obviously we got the originator. He's gonna break down the draft. I have a video coming in about 105, 110. And that's gonna give him breakdowns on this draft. So, that being said, OG, take us out, man.
Hey man, look here, man. Here on the Raw Truth, make sure y'all check out the YouTube channel, Truth with a 2 TV. Get on there, man. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And as always, man, we always on here, we're gonna seek and speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth. Raw Truth out. We out.